G'day, listeners. This episode is proudly brought to you by our sponsors, supshq.com.au. Use BWB15 at checkout to receive 15% off and direct shipping. G'day, guys and girls. Welcome back to another fantastic weekend episode. We are both joined by a random guest today, Big Benny Scott from STC, who apparently can't get his dates right, but we're all here and we're going to have a fucking ripper episode as usual. What's going on, boys?
Random. I've been planning this for weeks.
This hijack's been in the works for weeks.
Building the anticipation to come on with you guys and really get into some deep topics that I found out about 9 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Ben is the king of premature. Nah.
Story of my life.
Look,
I'm going to throw Jace under the bus because he's not here.
Yeah.
And just say that he told me it was this week and I didn't think to check the date.
I actually looked to check as well because I was like, wait.
I was freaking out. I was like, wait, are we?
And then Ben had literally the message above was just like, the 13th. We're like, we did say it. That's okay.
Like, fuck, we haven't advertised. We haven't got anyone ready.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's fair.
I mean,
it was a good excuse. We just did our Hot Ones episode.
Yeah. How'd you go?
Hot sauces. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, is that like that actual podcast segment thing that they do where they get the celebrities on to do hot sauce and talk?
Yeah. So we we bought all 10 and went through it ourselves and had my wife host and ask questions.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, it was good because I was like, I've got to be on a podcast at 2, so I didn't have to clean up. Just bailed.
Yeah. I'm out pretty much just straight out, nice and easy. It's like, I mean, you're technically on the podcast, so it's okay. You're not lying.
Yeah.
You're not lying.
I'll just come again next week. It's all
good.
Exactly.
It's like whatever you do next week on your podcast and then make her clean up and then back on the next one. You weren't lying. You're here. We've got proof. You know, as of Saturday morning when this releases, you'll have proof. So it's okay.
So it's been what? Christmas was when you were on with us last.
Christmas or New Year?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it was a Christmas New Year break. I think it was.
Fuck, that feels like so long ago.
It was.
Right?
It was a long time ago.
Fucking.
How to know you're getting old.
Yeah, middle of the year, and you feel like it's the end of the year. You're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
That's. I'm ready. I'm ready for a minute off. And put pause on the middle of the year.
Yeah, you're not wrong. What's been going on, Benny boy? And when I say Ben, I mean Ben Scott, not Ben Mayfield. We got to change this. We're going to be like, I don't know, what Ben, what can you call you? I'm not going to call you Scotty because that's weird.
Yeah, look, there was a lot of people in high school that didn't actually know my name was Ben. Scotty was pretty standard.
The question is, though,
I get it, but it's weird.
The question is, though, did you know?
Did you know what?
Yeah, fuck. Never heard that joke before ever.
Woo!
We sat a group of friends that alternately would 3 a.m. phone rings Saturday night. There's only one thing that's happening when you answer that phone.
Yeah, 100%.
He
doesn't know he's fucking playing at a party somewhere and I'm calling you.
Yeah, 100%.
Or sing it to you. Or
100%. Way back in the day when it was a thing.
Yeah, he probably finished with "What's up?"
I tell you don't finish. That's how you start the call.
That's how you start the call. Yeah,
like, what's up?
The mistake was on you because you answered the call at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
that's
rookie. You never know. It could have been a you up. You don't know.
Yeah. Well, he was already out. That's why he answered it.
Yeah,
he's like, where are we going next? And not very far when you're in Shep. So
I guess
the other bar that you might get stabbed or
yeah, exactly right. We're like, which one are we feeling risky tonight? It's fine. So we're gonna jump in the car and head to the next town. Where are you going, Rochi?
Chuka, where it's even worse.
Yeah.
How's the golf swing going this week, Benny? Well, boys, both of you?
I haven't been out for
not good enough.
Months. I went to the simulator last week. Just knocked the cobwebs off.
Can't take that off.
Yeah, it was all right. I didn't have to chase my bad shots, which was nice.
It was definitely the machine's fault that I was so left of the straight. That's definitely the machine.
Yeah.
Somehow he managed to hit it into the car park of the simulator. I'm not sure how that worked.
Yeah, this guy finds a new they've had to add extra graphics to the game because this guy ends it so far left.
Yeah.
Is there a back bit behind us? I don't know.
Putting it into the car park. Just like, okay, cool. Didn't know that was the thing, but that's fine.
Last time I went to the range, my first shot pulled up. Yep, let's go. It was only like an 9 or something. straight into the pole, sliced it so fast that it hit the pole just on the right hand side, which is dumb for that to be there in the first place, but I guess they assume people not to be as spud as me.
Yeah, well,
and like ricocheted into the next like thing, and I was like,
oh shit,
oh man, it's gonna be a long day. And I was just imagining what they were thinking, like, who the fuck is this dickhead?
Yeah, as soon as you hit it, you just look around, you're like, that was me. Who was that?
Yeah, it's like, no, I hit 100. It's all right. I promise I'm not this shit. Just made a mistake.
That's completely honestly. I had the round of my life on 18. On Sunday. I played out in, not that you would know, Ben, but down here I played at Vermont. Played literally for the day. I played 85.
Awesome.
Yeah, 15 over. I was like, that's the best. I'm never going to play that well again.
Yeah, same.
I'm never playing.
It's like powerlifting. It's like, yep, and that's the strongest I will.
Yeah, I have picked. It's like yesterday, I played yesterday.
I picked early.
I made someone that I know was like, oh, let's go play out at what's it called out here? Gardener's Rest. Down again, like Lilydale. So I'm like, oh, I've got the morning off. I'll go play. A phenomenal day. Yesterday's weather was perfect. Front nine played 17 over. I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. We're back to normal. This is how we play. 7 over on the back nine.
What's
bro? 7-9. Four to par and 1 birdie. I'm like, bro, PGA, here we come on 9 holes only, and it has to be the back nine. It can't be the front nine. The front nine's the warm up 9.
The front nine doesn't count.
Can we just firstly establish also that ever since Scaff has left, we have had nothing but dog shit weather up here. Just to clarify that, this is some proper Melbourne shit. It's like zeros and ones up here, like we're doing fucking coding, and that's the temperatures.
You guys are copping it with the rain too, hey?
It's dog shit,
man. I got so lucky. I was 23 degrees every day. And sunny. There was not a single cloud in the sky
every day. And then the second you left, it was like minus 22 of that 23
for 10 days, mate. It was great. Got to play Brisbane Golf Club. It was perfect. I was fucking loving it.
Definitely Aaron's fault.
100%. I'll wear that. That's fine. Because look at the weather now. You see my room? This is no lighting.
I appreciate it very much.
Yeah,
this is awesome here at the moment.
Yeah, this is natural fucking lighting right now. Like, this is great. Never mind the closed faucets here, but that's fine. Because it's the warm room. So we'll put that out of the way. That's fine.
You've got a plant, so it balances it out. It's fine.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's all about the feng shui of the room.
I've got a fake plant too.
Yeah, well, actually,
hey, look, fake plants. We're all
actually, mine, I had to check that. Mine's real. I had to check. Oh, wait. That's real. We're good.
That's fake.
My real ones are out there, so my wife can take care of them.
Yeah.
Brooklyn knows 100% that's not getting touched. So that's fake. You can put it in there, but I'm not touching it.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of things.
Her literal argument was, we have to make the backdrop look better for when you do your personal one. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm not touching that. That's its own thing.
Yeah, that's fair. That's why I've just got the Joker picture behind me, but that's fine.
She's talking. She's like, "Oh, we'll get like the whole like green wall, like those things, like it's like a fake."
Oh yeah, then you can do yeah.
She's like, we'll get like a neon MA
neon sign
stuff. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, for sure, that's cool. In 5 to 10 years time, I was like, right now, that's plenty. That's ticking the box. Ambiance, bitches.
Yeah, pretty much.
I got the fun.
I like nature and shit.
Yeah, I'm a greenie. I swear, I support it.
Yeah. That thing's reducing my emissions. It's like fucking tenfold.
Yeah, that's
carbon neutral.
Yeah,
exactly. Not athletic.
Matters carbon.
Yeah.
We're neutral when my car's in neutral. That's about it.
Yeah, 100%. But anyway, what's been going on in Queensland besides shit weather? Anything?
What's been going on? Yeah, fair bit actually. Like prep is trotting along. Clients are moving well. We've got 2 guys now. It's funny drilling into clients' heads all the little things that start ticking over, and they're like, they get that like stressed response of like things aren't happening or changing. Then you're like, no. It's like an investment. You have to invest in making the right choices every single day, and then you get that moment where it's like, oh, now the dominoes start falling. And as expected, like this one client is like prepping with me, like absolutely pushing him for like his entire limitation is stress management. And I'm like, right, so we don't have to worry about your training intensity, your conditioning and stuff like that. Like that'll come. We just need to get that stress under control, sleep under control, and consistent protein intake. And it's like, oh yeah, cool. We start doing those things. And out of nowhere, like 1.5 kilos comes off. He's like, bro, do I have to worry about something? He's like, is this all good? It's like, this happened. I'm like, bro, you had a free meal. You relaxed. You put your feet up. You got some sleep. Yeah. It's like, you're good.
Surprise.
That's what we want. We found a thing that works. Now we just rinse and repeat. And he's like, okay, sick. I'm like, bro, chill. You're good. It's like, this is what consistent work does. Like, stop making random variable choices and going out and doing things. I'm like, no, you do the right things consistently, things happen. And this is a good laugh. And I was like, man, I'm deep in my own prep, like coaching myself, and I'm looking at things going like, oh yeah, I just keep doing these and it ticks over. This guy's like, man, what's happening? And I was like, you're doing the work. That's what's happening. That's the response. So yeah, that's good. Tommy's we came back from we made an interesting epiphany this week. We may have to just alter the training program ever so slightly. Leg days are just getting a bit too brutal for what our recovery capacity seems to be at the moment.
Just take more drugs.
Yeah, pretty much that's the answer. So that's the plan, but also just a few modifications.
Just take more drugs. It's fine.
We come back from a deload after a 6-week meso. Like our plan was more so. I don't like too much the idea of proactive deload plans in a prep, because like if you're gonna have if you can train, then why are you pulling yourself up short? Unless fatigue is really bad. So we pushed 6 weeks of the block, got to week 7. Was like, yeah, we pretty much need a break. Came back from that break and the session was almost worse. So I was like, okay, cool. So rest is good. Sleep's been great. Food's up. Body fat's fine. Weight's fine. So the only variable here is that the session is just fucked. So starting the session with intensifiers probably wasn't a great idea. So we just make some modifications for the remaining leg blocks and just sort of even out the intensity a bit more. Keep load up. But yeah, that's pretty much what's happening there. So prep's just ticking along on a high day today, which is good. So everything's all, I don't know, it's in a good spot. I've just never felt this good in a prep cut before. So this will be my 4th attempt, give or take 2 COVIDs in an actual prep. And I've just never felt this good, this close. So I got 14, 16 and 18 weeks. And I've never been in this condition at this. Like I've already maxed out my belt, like my training belt. I have to get a smaller belt now. So I've still got fucking 14 weeks to go. So yeah, not mad. It's all good. It's all happening.
Yeah, no, we've got plenty of time, so that should be good. But yeah, I just say take more drugs. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Send
also
it.
That.
Just Gramatren, do it.
The old you. I got my first cough the other night for like ages. I was like, "Ooh, I forgot this." When you know, and if you're listening and you'll know.
And if you don't know, you will know. No, I'm joking.
If you don't, you will. It is inevitable.
How is life, Mr. Scott? How is?
Yeah, good
Work. Same.
Things are good. It's obviously a bit of a change of direction with the business stuff, but we're bringing back our mentorship, but I'm super excited about. So now that face-to-face is sort of back, and there seems to be a real cry for it here at the moment. So we're really excited to bring that back. So basically setting it up, that's like your first year.
Yeah.
And then you come in, use all of our shit, we educate you, and then kind of send you on your way. Or if you're really good, we offer you a deal to stay.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, it's exciting. So we were running that for like,
that was your
5 years.
That was your bread and butter. Yeah.
Yeah. So had some awesome trainers come out of it. So yeah, we're looking forward to get back into that space, and then keep going with our like next tier stuff that like you guys have done, and keep pushing that envelope as well.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it's good to see the shift. Going back to, I guess, what it was that I guess put you guys on the map, right? Like the strength PT, mentoring stuff of PTs, which would be cool. It's good to see.
Even the branding has gone back to like, this is how you train, this is how you eat, and then look good.
It's like, look good naked. That's kind of the whole principle, right? And that was what it was. That's what I remember.
And like I've spoken to Benny about it too. Like there's a lot of that. We get caught up. Like we have mentality as one of our pillars, but it's like, it's one of our pillars.
Yeah.
And a great way to improve your relationship with self, let's call it, relationship with the person in the mirror, both internally and externally, is like, just win.
Yeah.
Just win every day.
Yeah.
And like if you set some targets and you show up and like whether it's nutrition or training or a new kg on the bar or a lift off a photo shoot, whatever, it's like when you do those things, you kind of tend to feel better about yourself.
Yeah. I have this conversation all the time. People like, especially like the crowd where like competition's toxic and dangerous and we shouldn't do it. It's why I always put like passive aggressive comments and stories on Instagram, because I find it hilarious and people buy it and it's fun. But like this notion like competition and thriving in competition is wrong or somehow like a bad thing. But even in the worst case, if you really perceive the competitive edge with the right perspective, then even if it's a simple progression on your past lift, your past placing, if it's an improvement on the win from the week before, if you like played better, whatever the sport, whatever the win, even fucking in business, in your career, whatever it is, like if you did better on this report than the last one or this sale than the last one, those micro wins develop what is called involuntary winning syndrome, which spirals positive serotonin and positive behavior. Chest is taller, back's better, shoulders are lower, chest is higher, all that sort of shit where you just feel better from simply winning. And you get to define the best part is you get to define your criteria of winning. It doesn't have to be like, if you set the criteria for, first place gold medals, fair enough. We're not going to win all the time, but you get to set those criteria of like, this is a definitive win. And you get like, when clients get that and you're like, we're not looking for, yeah, sure. We might have a performance goal. We might have like a get to first place or increase your lift, but week to week, micro to micro, if you make those small wins, like every day is fucking good because you win. Like accrue more wins than losses. That's it.
And I think where that kind of like that crowd that you sort of reference, like the people who are like just do what makes you happy kind of thing. It's like, well, it's not the being competitive. That's not the problem. It's what you're being competitive about.
Yep.
It's like, I consider myself to be highly competitive, but it's really only with myself.
Yep.
Like the last powerlifting meet I did, Anthony Cruzan showed up and totaled 980. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
But I hit a PB. So it's like, it's still a win for the day. So I think that's where people get lost. It's like, there is this crossover period of like, you're setting expectations that are either unrealistic or like are perhaps going to do damage to you. Like I've been weight training for 6 months and now I'm going to do a WBFFF show. It's like, like that's probably, maybe that is a little bit of a bad decision to make. But if like you could just focus on improving your body composition week or month or whatever on end and lifting more weight and all that kind of shit, man, I've seen some people change their lives outside of the gym based off the confidence that they learned just from 100%. Lifting weights and improving body composition, feeling good about themselves.
100%.
Yeah, the only thing that annoys me is when people try to start off their day with a challenge to try and conquer the day. Those that like, I'm going to wake up and have a cold shower. Yeah, win the day. And it's like, why would you put yourself in a compromised position from first thing? Like, I don't understand that mentality. And it's like, I've argued with people before because they're like, oh yeah, because it's not that hard to do it. And I'm like, well, then it's not really a challenge, is it? Like, kind of defeats the fucking purpose. Like, I don't understand. But anyway.
Your ass pass.
Well, but people are like, I can, I get up and have a cold shower every morning because, it's one thing that I've conquered for the day. So it sets me up and it sets me on my path. And it's like, sure, like if that's what gets you going. I'd much rather have a warm shower, especially in winter, just because I want to feel good. I think I'm going to have a better chance at winning the day if I feel good, not if I've had a cold shower.
And you avoid getting out of bed for half an hour because
you're going to get up and have a cold shower, and it's kind of like the last thing I want to do is have a fucking cold shower. Like, anyway, I just find that competitive side of people just like, oh yeah, I compete, but it's like, well, yeah, I get it, but competing against a cold shower when you could have a warm shower and you're in a very privileged state to have a warm shower. You don't have to have a cold shower. I feel like, appreciate the little things and
there's definitely value in doing shit that's hard.
Yeah.
It's just choosing I would look, I actually did the cold shower thing for maybe 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Because it meant I didn't have to have coffee till 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Right.
It was no like, I had some digestive stuff. I didn't want to drink coffee. And I was like, oh, this actually wakes me up and I'm really productive for the first hour of the day. Let's keep doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's value to it, but there's value to doing the hard stuff sometimes because it's hard to show that you can, but maybe just tie it to something that also gives you an outcome.
I was going to say, like give yourself half a chance. First thing in the morning, half asleep, like you want to have a cold shower because you want to conquer something. There's probably other things you could do.
It's the Goggins thing, right?
You're fine.
Yeah. It's like
the answer is always drugs.
Well, I mean, always. It's always more. More
is more.
Yeah, if less works, more is better. Like, obviously, science.
Maximum effective dose, people.
Yeah, not even.
It's just used wrong.
It's not even maximum
survivable dose.
It's just maximum dose. Like the limit doesn't exist.
Maximal dose before death.
Yeah, 100%.
Just BD. That's the new thing. I'm trademarking it.
Just send it because why not?
We're making an interesting point before regarding send it in terms of all three of us having pushed certain degrees of calories. As I was saying, we're talking about today being a high day. It's just an interesting little ramble that people don't quite get to grasp. I find it interesting whenever you talk about like training and competing or bodybuilding and performance, stuff like that, people always look at dieting when we talk like use diet synonymously for whether it's growth, cuts, phases, maintenance. I feel like we just use diet synonymously for the phase of training we're in. So whatever that diet phase is, like, oh, I am dieting for this. when people hear diet, they usually think like calorie cutting. So they go through like the food substitutes, the food swaps. Like I've got to make the volume changes like I'm doing now on low days. Then I have high days and I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm at 850. I'm like 850 carbs, 220 protein, 30 fat, whatever. It's nothing crazy. It's like 48, 4,900 calories. But then you get people that are like, oh, I love that. You're like, yeah, it's cool. Like it's cool once a week. But then, what about in like growth phases where we're pushing this 7 days a week, 6 months of the year, or, we're pushing this until a cut phase and we're trying to push up maximum capacity to put in. I've progressively tapered my calories. I know both of you have, where I've like, when I first started with adult, I was just through life, stress, appetite, anxiety. I was peaking at like 2,500 calories before I felt sick. We had to take like periods where I just didn't eat all day. It was just like, he hated it. I hated it. Then we managed all these things, got everything in better places. Obviously, like, your dad only passes once, or you hope so. Like all that sort of personal shit goes away and you start getting like life still in place. And we've titrated calories up several times to the point where I was in off season at 6,000. Again, you say that to people and they're just like, that sounds cool. And you're like, yeah, wait till like, you don't understand how leptin and ghrelin work. And you don't understand how appetite and satiety works. You don't understand like flavor palatability and how that works. You get sick of eating. It doesn't matter what it is you're eating. You can just have a spoonful of Nutella at this point. It's just simply mush that's going in your mouth by the end of the day. But it's like that energy has to go in to get the food in. It's just an interesting concept.
The hardest part I found was like the mental fatigue meant that I didn't want to eat big during the day.
Yeah.
It was like, it just made me slow and not like, my brain just wasn't what I was used to it being when I sat down to work. So it was like calories got pushed to later in the day and it's like
the back end
6 o'clock and I've got 2,500 calories. It's like you're pulling out the peckish in the bag of lollies and the fucking condensed milk and shit. And you're like, just like I have other people like that would come over for dinner or whatever. And it's like, we would have dinner. This one night, my wife's cousin came over. We had dinner and I pulled out condensed milk and it might've been Fruit Loops or something. Yeah. It's like heated up the condensed milk. And she was just like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, I still have 400 grams of carbohydrates to eat.
Man, I just 2 hours. Where it's like you get to like your certain points of high day where you're eating whilst you're cooking food to eat to make more food. Like I'll have like snacks going whilst I'm like preparing more meals. And it's like, it doesn't stop. Like at this point, it becomes a full-time day where you have to eat or drink. Like Dolt got to the point where we realized that my fiber intake was getting too high because I was like, not obsessed, but like from prep mode, I'm like trying to make whole food, smarter choices, make sure I get micronutrients in. Because I'm like super health conscious about the doses we're using and things like that. I'm like, I want to be aware of that. So he's like, all right, cool. We need to cut that down because you're filling up too hard. You can't get the food in. And then your day's going by and you're backing up all this food. So we had to swap to like V8 juices, V8 berry juice, V8, like V8 fruit, like the full ones. Cause it still technically counts like one serve. But even that, you're drinking 2 liters of V8 juice a day to get like your micros in, plus your whole grains, rices, pastas, all that sort of shit. And it's like, right, this is like, you have to be
still satiating.
Yeah, it's still satiating. And it's like, at the end of the day, even though those things are designed to taste good, it wears out. And like people don't understand the way like, what's it called? Flavor fatigue kicks in. And it's like, at the end, like, there was one point in my prep at the off season where I just simply had, and I'll weigh out 100 grams of Nutella in a bowl and I'd have a whole pack of pikelets. Every night would just be scoop one, eat, because I know 100 grams of Nutella for sure. So I have to eat that. And the whole pack of pikelets was counted for. So I had to eat the whole packet. So that was it. It wasn't like I'll just do 4 and wait out and see. Like, no, I just sit there and gulp it. And I'll just be laying in bed like a fucking glob, just like, yeah. And now if I had Nutella pikelets, I would be sucking I'd be frothing. Like I'd feel the tits. But then I'm just like, oh, fuck, there's another one. Oh, fuck, there's another one. And it's like, you just like, it's not even salivating. It's like at the point where you're worrying. I was waking up with like reflux and like feeling like I'm going to spew up. And it's like, 12 o'clock at night, I'm pacing doing laps of the house so I can get my digestion, try and make shit move. I'm like, this is cooked. But then you tell people that shit and you're like, oh man, 6,000 calories would be sick. I'd love that for a weekend. You're like, one weekend.
Yeah, exactly right.
Over a weekend, but not fucking 7 days a week, bro.
Yeah. I think too, like coming off of that, like I went from 4,600 ish down to like right now I'm like 2,600. And just like the habits that you have, like I was probably in a surplus for pretty much 4 years straight.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 years. Yeah. So you're coming back to be like, I was talking to Max, who's like coaching me at the moment. It's like, he's like, oh, I always just like leave this many calories at night so that I know if like I get a grilled burger or whatever, like it'll always fit. And I was like, so the problem I have is like, I could go to Hungry Jack's and get a bacon deluxe burger, large with an extra bacon deluxe burger and a chocolate shake, and it's still fucking fit. And like learning now to turn the garbage disposal button off.
Yeah.
And like actually
send it,
just like, just like, I have to just be like a normal person and get a small meal with a diet soda and shit.
Just Coke Zero shit.
Give me a large Big Mac meal with, a McFlurry, but I need a sugar-free Coke cause health.
Yeah, I think, and this is why I don't know how you guys approach your clients, but when so I've got several clients now going through different phases of nutrition. And I like to expose them to greater degrees of intensity of their hungers and stuff. So like when their diet phase is like, okay, it's time to really suffer. Like Ewan is probably gonna be listening to this. He's on like poor bastard for the rest of this week, 100 grams of carbs, but he's like, we're pushing the end of his fat loss phase and drive as much as we can. That aspect of me, I find is fun because as you build those skills and those abilities, so I believe dieting, both growing and cutting, is a skill. You have to develop the skill of handling it. When you go through that and you start making those like smarter choices and substitutes and the swaps of food choices, you start to learn how to enjoy and incorporate foods that are more voluminous or like larger in satiety and things like that. Make smarter choices. And I feel it makes you appreciate food better, and it makes you actually enjoy food better because like you're limited in the flavor, you're limited in the amount, you're limited in like what the total calories are, but it still gives you that like those swaps of fun to me. Like you get to go through that period where you're like, oh, I just spent 6 months eating 6,000 calories. Now I've got to make all these swaps to feel just as full, but in literally a third or half of the calories, and still get that same sort of satiety and energy for training and all that sort of shit. That it's like it's something you have to experience, and you can't really explain it until you go through it. You can't really understand it until you've done it. But once you do it, it makes future dieting so much easier. Like this cut, similar to you, Benny, like I went from like 5,000 a day straight down to like 25. And there was like 2 or 3, I was doing like 3 and 4. So 4 days a week, straight down to 25. 3 days a week, I was doing 4. And then I was like, oh, you know what? Let's pull it. And me and Scaff talked about it. Pull out the third day. We'll just do 45 twice. And I'm still in a 3,000 calorie deficit from the already deficit I was in. Now it's like those massive swaps. I'm like, it's easy for me because I just go right back to those old behaviors. Like those old, like, Spud Light, more volume in salad and veg, leaner meats, high, more satiety proteins, also like fish, like making those swaps. And it's like super easy. Had I done this that time for the first time, it'd fucking sucked.
Yeah. How do you find the training? Like it's obviously a little bit different because you have a very specific goal and a timeline. But I know like switching for myself, for like I said, that 3-year period, everything was get as big as humanly possible. Body composition, in terms of like leanness, was don't really care.
Yeah. We were having this conversation as well a couple of weeks back on this podcast. It's like when you listen to like pro bodybuilders, for example, I guess those that manipulate their body composition the most, both off season, on season, a lot of the old school thinkers have the same mentality of you need to do one off season where you just get fat. They're like, you just have but like, I guess when they say fat, they're like, you're pushing, maximum 20% body fat, like no more than really 20%, 15 to 20 is sort of that golden range. So I guess in context, right? Like we think probably body fat and we think fat and we're like maybe 25%, but obviously that's when we start to probably see some deleterious health impacts. So we don't want to push it too much, but I mean, it's funny to think, pushing weight as high as we can while keeping body fat, I guess, in check as much as possible and sort of letting it get out to that 15 to 20%, because some people can be 15% body fat and still have abs, right? And then you got those that are, to get abs, they have to be like 3 and you're like, righto. So
I think I got cooked with the movement stuff because we were in lockdown. It's just like we weren't doing anything. So it was just like, I look back at videos and I was like, oh Jesus, that is not a healthy person right there.
That blood pressure is so high.
Yeah. But curious, like the mentality wise, and I know Aaron, like you've obviously gone from big food, heavy, coming back more from like a lifestyle choice and bending into a comp. Like I found one of the most challenging things is like not being stronger every week in the gym, not being like that performance drop off of the calorie deficit and just the size, like getting under a bench press 10 kilos lighter. It's like you're going to bench the same. It's a weird.
The mechanics is different.
Yeah.
Like this week is probably the first integral where I've really noticed that in this meso. Because technically since probably May, I've been like a lot more stringent and adherent dieting wise and sticking to like specific high-low days and things like that. So May, June, so about 2 months now. And this is probably the first part of the phase where that cut really affected like training performance. Like up until this point, like I was stealing, like we've said before, I was stealing wins every week on a session. Like I didn't give a fuck how it was. It was like 2.5 kilos, an extra rep. Some days are like you're feeling great. There's like an extra 3 reps in there. Some days is like just get that rep. If you can match reps and increase by 1, sweet. But like every session, every set, there was something. Every session in most exercises, there was a degree of progression that we were like stealing. Essentially, the way I kind of say it. And yeah, this week just gone was kind of like the first session where there was that roadblock of like performance started to dwindle, and you're like, well, fuck, like we can't have this far from prep. So what do we do? And you got to figure those shit out. You got to start like, well, I can't just jack up my food because I'm in a prep, so you don't get more food. You got to, okay, was that true failure? Was that the machine or was it us? No, it was true failure. Okay, we've got to switch something up because we've got to keep progressing. As we know, the more at least progressive overload you can stimulate during a fat loss phase, the more muscle you can retain, especially when we're enhancing anyway, the more muscle you will retain and avoid atrophying from that cut. So yeah, to us it was like, okay, well, how do we get to that point then to find the next thing to progress and keep that volume? So obviously that's where you switch up your program a little bit, make some adjustments and see if that works. But yeah, it's mentally, as like competitive people, it mentally sucks. Like I use those sessions as wins. Like I fuck those sessions up, and like my RIR is generally the same. It'll always be like a fucking 1-0. Should it titrate? Probably. But realistically, like at this point in prep, we go and balls to the walls and see what happens. RPE, again, is always relatively the same. So that's kind of a win. But when you're looking at the actual tangible numbers, is like, you know, they're going to either dwindle at a certain point or like struggle to progress. So it's kind of like, okay, how do we modify it to fix that up?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Aaron, you was obviously, did you get out of the weight room for a bit?
Yeah. I've taken periods of time off. It's nice.
How did you feel coming back though? Like I've noticed a couple of times where it's like people in the gym are watching me train or whatever. I'm like, I used to be stronger than this.
It's funny. It's like, I don't know. I don't really, you know, me when I train, especially when I train in commercial gym, like I really don't pay attention to people. Sort of looking, I'm just
because you hate all of them.
Yeah, literally. I don't know you, but automatically I hate you. So I'm sure you're lovely, but I still hate you. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to people, man. I've always just gone in and done my thing. Like I'm very well aware of where I'm at and, you know, where I've been, and I'm not too concerned, dude. My goals are a little bit different when it comes to training anyway. My goal isn't necessarily to get as big as possible, as fast as possible. So it's kind of like, if I can get stronger, you know, if I can get stronger sort of session to session, I'm pretty happy. Like I know I can still throw up, you know, if I really wanted to, I could throw up a full plate hack squat. So it's like, I'm not too stressed about that. Like I could throw up some good numbers if I wanted to. And it's just kind of like, I don't need to. And that's where it's different. Especially with like goals of, you know, getting better at doing other things. So it's like, you know, I'd rather do that.
Thoracic rotation.
100%. You've seen my rotation; it's phenomenal now. I didn't have any. I'd be surprised to try and set up a comp bench and just see how I feel, or just see how much arch I can get, because I couldn't get any before.
Give you some feedback. Awesome.
Yeah, I'd be like, like let's just jump on and find. I mean, I'm not worried about the weight on the bar. We didn't talk about that, but we talk about the goal is what the arch is and the degree of that arch.
Yeah, we had our lift off a couple of weeks ago, and they obviously, for those who don't know me, ex-power lifter. Yeah. Now, like doing running, playing golf, dropped 10 kilos. And we had the comp bench set up for the guys. They were all warming up and stuff. I was like, let's just see how this feels.
Yeah.
I was like, this has never felt this nice.
This is how you're meant to feel when you arch in a bench press. Right.
Yeah, and like my thoracic extends and my shoulders externally rotate and my elbows don't hurt. And like,
it's all done.
Supposed to feel
all done without pain. What is this? I'm a new man. But yeah, I mean, you know, short of that, it's like I'll do the comp lifts every now and then, obviously to keep on top of the skill. And obviously, you know, if I'm going to coach it, I need to be able to still, do it every now and then. Like I'm, you know, pretty sure I can still pull 240.
Our main goal
with
for
that.
Scaff is to get him into physique comps. So that's always going to be the lingering in the background.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to have a better chance of me getting on the Live Golf Tour, not the PGA. Like I said, we're going to skip PGA, go straight to Live,
to Norman's,
straight to the retiring golf federation, and just you got a better chance of me getting on there for then probably stage. To be honest, at the moment,
I'm just gonna message Joe and just absolutely just like bombard him until he gets you on stage. It's like, bruh, getting his
man, it was actually, you know what? He was actually pretty good about it because you know how popular he is with like especially bodybuilders and stuff. And I sort of said to him that my goals have simply changed, and from a health perspective and just life perspective, I want to sort of settle a little bit. And he's just like, perspective. And I'm just like to him, dude, I want to I don't want to take up someone else's spot. Like if you've got a lifter or if you've got a competitor that wants to take my spot, I'm pretty easy to manage myself with this period of time. He goes, nah, man. He's like, don't stress. He goes, we've been together for like 2 years. He's like, you're my lifestyle client. We're good. I'm like, man, you're a legend. Like those little things where someone as, I guess as sought after as Joe to do that is pretty cool. So I was pretty happy with that. So it's like, I'm happy just to get semi-jacked over
secretly he's just like sitting inside being like, what a bitch.
No, I don't think he really cares. He prefers lifestyle clients and bodybuilders bitch too much. You're just too needy.
Shit. You're
just too needy.
I literally have not said fucking boo. I just like message about training that we talk about already anyway.
Yeah, it's true. Until you send me you check in photos and you're taking selfies and I want to fucking slap you.
No, I fucking
fuck off. I'll show you the photo. I will put them on this. I'll share the screen. I'll do it.
It is a selfie. I'm not saying it's not a selfie.
Yeah, exactly.
It was an actual check-in selfie though.
Yeah,
it was just how does the back look from the it's a good shot.
Just do it properly.
It was for Instagram.
And anyone that knows me knows how much I hate fucking selfie check-in photos. It burns my soul.
The shirt was already off. The light was different. I was like, oh, what's the look
like Yeah. Excuses.
Ipso facto, it's still a good shot.
It was a good photo. You're getting lean. Who would have thought dropping out a third high day was going to get your time?
Coming along. Yeah. It's interesting though, because like when I look at my body, because like when I do my off season, Benny, like I will push like I don't have the fear of like having to be Instagram ready all year round for like, especially in this day and age of like pro bodybuilders who do that and they'll stay within that 10% range or borderline. Some of them like fucking 8%. You're like, you do a 2-week off season, then you start in a prep again. Like what the fuck? But like, I'll push it. And it's shit for me. Cause like Tommy, like my client, he will push weight 110, 115. I think he got to, and he'll still have a 6-pack. Like he'll still be like, he'll just be a bloated 6-pack. And it's like, what the fuck? Me, it grows on the outside. And it's like, there's just a nice layer here of like warmth and discomfort. And like, I'm not overly happy with it, but it's there. But then like I'll tighten up, my waist pulls down to, it's already at 30. And I've still got like 14 weeks to pull it under. I promised everyone, I was like 28 with a vacuum on stage. Watch me. Oh, I don't know. Watch me. But it's like, it's interesting how fat distribution works and then how quickly it just goes. And it's like you pull those layers off and I'm like, cool. There's now like a taper and a fucking potential 28-inch waist underneath all of that layer.
Yeah, and start peeling it off. Yeah, it's fun times. It's interesting, like you say, with the being Instagram ready at all times. I think the coolest thing about transitioning into like that lifestyle thing, myself with my own training, looking at your branding, it's not attached to your physique at all.
Yeah, exactly right.
I know you train. I know you train hard. I know you're going to compete, but I don't see that much of your comp prep stuff. It's like, I know you do it, but it's not who you are on Instagram. I think that's really, really important. Yeah. It's like that separates your ability to be able to go through those phases. And then like, what if you don't want to compete after this? Like maybe you do, but what if you don't? Like Aaron and myself, like I was like, I used to have people message me like, oh, I don't want to compete in powerlifting, but will you still coach me? And I was like, I'm missing the mark here because that's not actually the only thing I do.
Yeah.
So I think that's really valuable.
Yeah, we've had that conversation like several times. It was something I was actually hesitant to share more of my physique, but although it was well received and well responded to, because it wasn't like an attention grab all the time, it was actually like a genuine, if you're interested, here's the update. But I find for people who base their entire brand around that appearance, it becomes like, well, you have to stay that way now forever.
Yeah, well, the tricky part though on the other side to that is people are simple. So what they see is kind of like
Yes,
what they get,
exactly.
right? So it's kind of like,
which was that switch for us. To
you know what I
actually
mean?
Share a bit more.
Yeah,
It was like,
it's
okay, now
funny.
there actually are weekly updates and stuff that it's like, okay, this is how it's going.
Yeah, and it's funny because obviously people seeing you do that sort of stuff will, generate that kind of want of service, right? No, that's this, and it's always funny because, like, I know for like personally, for example, like I know when I was powerlifting and when I was coaching a lot of powerlifters, obviously posting a lot of powerlifters, people were like powerlifting coach, powerlift, sure. Then did my cut, started posting some more hypertrophy stuff, which I've always done anyway. Like, start posting it. People are like, body composition, hypertrophy, cool, still coming in. The funny thing to that is that when I wanted to transition more to that sort of stuff, people were still coming over for powerlifting because then you build your rep as, that type of coach or whatever it is. So it's kind of like trying to find this happy medium of like what content to post or what to show people that may generate some sort of interest in your coaching service. Because, like, again, people are simple. So it's like monkey see, monkey do. It's like, well, they see this, so that's what they're going to want because that's what they think that you provide because it's what you do.
Yeah.
On social
and I had
media.
that. We had that. Like, I had a follower message like, "Oh, I just thought you were like a psychology coach." I was like, "Oh, that's bad. That's where I will be. That's not what I am right now. That's what I'm versed in and study, but it's not like all the premise of my entire existence of a business. So we need to fix that and actually get a lot more training content up there and like actual client content up there and stuff like that. So yeah, we had that. And it was kind of like I'd become known for it, obviously, with a lot of share and education. Like I just simply liked writing articles and blog pieces and blurbs and stuff on Instagram about like, this is a site concept. This is what it means. This is how you break it down. This is a goal. This is these things. And so, yeah, we had that conversation. It's like, right, at the end of the day, I want the logo is a fucking brain. Like I want to be known more for that that kind of, I don't know, for a lack of better comparison, Huberman, Norton, Lehman, they're guys that they do their thing, but also they're known more for the brain about it. And that was kind of like, I don't want to just be another cliche bro bodybuilder that's known for his physique that gets clients because he's a competitor. Like I want people to know that we do that shit. And I'm also educated and stuff. So yeah, that was kind of like a big thing there. I was like, well, everyone knows I'm educated now, well, to a degree. So we actually need to have some training content, some client contents, and like updates on physiques and posing and stuff. I was like, as much as I don't want to be that guy, sometimes you just got to play to your hand that's dealt. And it's like, well, if you have a nice physique at the time, you may as well just share some of it.
You just give the people what they want. Show us it.
Drop the tower. Just drop the tower, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's balancing enough, isn't it?
It's
there's enough to show like, yes, I lift weights and yes, I train. And yes, I'm making progress with myself. And that my clients are too. But then the message can still be strong. At the bottom of that, which is like that performance mentality that you kind of communicate.
Yeah, it's like they all sort of intertwine into that same sort of service or that same mentality that's offered from the service, right? So it's like I found that balance of having like a personal update, once a week, and then, maybe one personal training clip once a week, and then a client win type scenario, whatever that may be. And you get that balance and you start tying it all up, and it's just people start to eat it up because they're like, oh, okay, so he does clearly, they clearly train. They obviously care and they want their clients to kill it and so on and so forth. And just has that downstream effect and leads to a ton of inquiries, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
And I think that's kind of where we're finding that sweet spot now too. Like to have that, you won't ever see now a training video of me not doing an intensity of training. Like there's never like an off session except for deload weeks. And then we still explain why there's deload week. But you'll never not see you can go back however long and find training content that's us trying to fuck shit up. The weight is relative, whatever that weight is, but it's always going to be an intensity metric that I use, which is the same conversation I have with clients and the way I approach it. So when you use the MATTR system, it's something that I do too. Like I do it by practice and then employ it with you.
Yeah, that's fair. Should we do some questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
What have we got on today? I think we had some interesting ones, that's for sure.
Ooh.
What does a warm-up look like for you boys? Is it an essential part in your training process?
So I'll do normal grip, then I'll do reverse grip, and then I'll go train.
You'll do some meditation breathing drills off YouTube, some Pilates and some yoga, and then you're ready to go.
100%. That's my session. That's it.
100%.
Yoga is the perfect preparation for your 1RM.
100%. You need to be mobile to lift stiff shit.
That's fair. That's fair.
Anyway, answering the question.
So mobility for me will be muscle group specific. Like I'm not going to spend 45 minutes on a full body mobility session to go do like upper push one. Like that's just not what I'm going to do. If something's tight, I'll give some attention to it. I'll make sure that I warm up. Like I just like to use and warm up things like internal rotators and stuff like that. Just having shoulder issues in the past, just making sure they're all actually like doing their job. So I'll do specific focuses and a bit of mobility drills like bow sticks and stuff to just get mobility through my shoulders. Warm up will then probably go into like, especially legs and stuff will be a lot more loosen up the lumbar and stuff for me with my injuries. Getting things like bit of rolling out in there just purely for acute range of motion. What else? I'll do some like trigger balls and stuff, glutes, just trying to loosen those up. And then it'll just be building up to top sets. So I think we've talked about it before. I'll do as weight increases, reps generally come down, and I'll treat the same reps the same way that we do the top set as we do the starter set, and we go from there.
Yeah. Ben, anything to add?
Yeah, I think mine certainly changed a lot with a different goal, right? Like powerlifting, very high specificity. And then like usually the deeper into prep, the longer the warm up gets because there's more shit that hurts. So it's like troubleshooting all of that.
Yeah.
I like, in a powerlifting sense, taking people through movement, that they don't actually do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be like a foam roller overhead press against a wall or something. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, did you know your scapula can actually go up too, not just down? Just those kind of things, just to try and like prevent that kind of rigidity fridge type thing that it develops when you're doing the big three consistently all the time. I think what people miss the most is like actually just increasing core temperature. Like it's actually okay to get on the assault bike or whatever for a couple of minutes and fucking actually, warm up. Like it's a temperature thing. Nowadays, it's much more because I have an overlapping goal of conditioning. My warm up tends to be part of the conditioning session, part of the session. So it's like 3 exercises on loop that all are going to carry over well into what I need to do in that day. More like putting you in a position that's going to, with less load, that's going to be similar to what the requirement of the session is.
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
like if I've got bench press, it's push-ups. If it's like squats, it's like the world's greatest stretch, like those kind of things. Lots of just priming, I guess, to go train well.
I think things can be almost integrated into the movement, right? Like integrate movement. I'm a similar premise most of the time. It just depends how it's funny. It just depends how I'm actually feeling. It's like, especially with like machine-based work, I don't tend to do overly much.
I noticed this guy when he was training up here, just go straight to his machines. Like rotational work and stuff.
I used to do, obviously, like if you ask Ben when we used to powerlift, man, like it was a lot of warm-up stuff, and it's just kind of like, I don't know, with machines, the machines take you through range of motion, provided you know how to use the machine properly, right? And I think that's what's really based on. It's like if you know how to use a machine properly, well, just slowly start and slowly increment until you start,
the best warm up for a pendulum squat is using the pendulum squat.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like if I have some niggles in between, like my first few sets, like I'm like, this feels a bit funny or whatever. Like I won't, increase in weight or anything like that. And I've kept that the same through powerlifting or through hypertrophy-based training. It'll be like I go off and do something to, address that issue that I'm feeling in that time. Come back to that weight. Okay, issues feeling much better. Let's progress. So it's like I used to do the same thing with squats, right? And I'd always preach it. I'm like, I might only do 1 or 2 reps on the way up to a top set for squatting. But, in between, if something feels bad or crap, I'll go address it, come back to the same weight. Okay, that feels good. Back up.
I find it interesting when like you look at like hypertrophy trainers, as in like just people that are training for hypertrophy, and they'll spend 45 an hour doing like pre-warm-up shit. And it's like let's look at it from a like psychosomatic relationship as well. Not only are you feeling now like you're already fatigued or you're already tired or you've hyper stretched and you're like putting the body into a weakened position, basically. Like sure, you're getting some extra mobility out of it, but is that whole full body session necessary to go train chest and back or like protagonist, antagonist? Is it necessary for some shoulders and arms? Like that whole 45 minutes then, like when I come into the gym mentally, I've focused from the drive from my car, from waking up, getting the stims in, the drive in my car to the gym. I'm focusing on what that session is going to be and how I'm going to go about it and how I'm trying to approach it, how I'm feeling. Am I mentally prepared? Am I ready? What music's on? That then 45-minute warm up has taken all that away from me that could be going into the fucking session. And now it's like, especially in prep and stuff like that, where you're already mentally drained and fatigued. Do you really want to spend 45 minutes loosening every little thing up when you're only training chest and fucking arms, or like chest and shoulders, or like, upper one? So those overly done warm-up sessions I just fucking find them anti-theory and a waste of time.
Yeah. Like if your goal is hypertrophy and you need to like a very serious, in-depth, complicated warm-up, your programming just sucks.
Yeah.
You have so much choice of movement variety that you can put into a program as a physique client or athlete. Like you can choose anything.
I'd just be also concerned about how fucked up that person is.
Yeah,
to have to do all this work. Like, bruh, we need to
foam roll into this full flow yoga fucking mantra position, and then I'm gonna have to get into this up dogs, and then I've got to do some internal rotations, and then I've got to do bow sticks, and it's like, man, how much of that is needed for just simply training fucking leg day one, or like
push like I get if you sit at a desk all day, so you got to do cat camels before you start and all that kind of stuff. I get it.
That's me. Like now that I sit at home.
Yeah, if it's like, but if you're in a position where you continuously can't get into the positions that are demanded from your program over time, then to me, that program's imbalance somewhere.
Yeah, no, I agree. It needs to, if it doesn't help you achieve the goal that you set out, it's kind of like, what are you doing? And
it's so easy, like even at the bare minimum, it's so easy to make that happen. Like just program with the intention to solve the problem and get to the goal. Yeah. And generally you should be selecting exercises that assist that at the bare minimum.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, we got a very deep question on what is the meaning of life. Yeah.
Lordy.
I was gonna.
All Ben. That has Ben written all over.
I was going to reference Biggie, but I won't. I like that we all knew what we were talking about just then. I won't say it. Everyone just starts laughing.
Just go full video with it. Get rich and die trying.
Yeah, pretty much. 9 shots to the face. I mean, I don't really want to answer that question because I would be here all day. So just thought I'd let you know that someone did ask that question, and Ben's going to actually
enough for that question.
Matter Athletica episode 3 will now be what is the meaning of life, coming soon.
Yes, we're straight for the big shit.
It's a 4-hour in-depth talk, and it's just Ben by himself.
Yeah,
YouTube lecture series.
I'll still have a fun time with it.
Yeah. Thoughts on companies saying 50% less carbs, but don't tell you what it's 50% less than? I mean, it's 50% less than 100%.
Yes,
is what I think. The idea is like it's a low carb. It's already a low carb product, and you're like, oh, look, it's even less.
Yeah, it's like 50% less of low carbs. Like, well, cool.
Yeah. So it says 17. Does that mean it's 17? Then take 50?
Yeah.
I see what they're saying.
I'm glad you do, because I was just I don't get
it. To a degree misleading, but kind of like, I guess if you aren't familiar with the company, you're looking at like, I don't know, Tip Top, and they do like a low carb loaf or something like that. You're presumably associating that the low carb means compared to the one they previously had, right? Like that would be how I view it. But like it's low carb, I guess. So presumably you're reading them back and going, oh, yeah, it's low carb.
Yeah. I think you're talking to guys that like look at the nutrition label of everything they pick up anyway.
Yeah.
And like so do most of our clients. So like from a non-gym population, like that starts becoming like an ethical debate. Like it's like the high protein on the oats thing. It's it's not like great source of protein on peanut butter. It's like peanut butter protein's like watching porn for the plot. It's not really there.
Like, hey, there's some good actors.
Like going to Macca's getting a salad. Like, really? Like, what are you doing?
Just
I'm with you.
I understand from a sociology kind of approach, like, hey, is this negatively impacting me? Because it's like the low carb bun at grilled, higher calories than the normal one.
I get you. Would you rather ride a mountain stage of Le Tour or swim the English Channel?
Would you rather? What's the first one?
So ride one of the Tour de France, one of the stages.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So would you rather do that or swim the English Channel?
Oh,
it depends which stage, because I think what is it, stage 2 or 3? That's all downhill.
Yeah, I can nail that.
One of them. I can't remember
my weight carry me.
Literally, one of the stages. I think like 90% of it is downhill. I'll do that rather than swim the English Channel.
Yeah.
If I have a choice in which stage.
If you haven't read it yet, there's a book. Oh God, Dalton got it for me, and I think there's another one. 1%, How to Become the 1% by Gareth Timmons, and they talk about how he just decides to support a cause or something like that. It's a British commando, and he just goes and swims the English Channel and swims around like the whole of the UK, like just swims around it. Fuck, man, some of the shit that's in that water and like the weather responses that happen. He's like, there was honestly points where I started hallucinating and stuff where I just thought like things were coming at me that weren't, because it's like nighttime swimming and there's like waves and stuff where you just start. He's like, I just started visualizing like fucking hydras and shit coming at me. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna take the downhill.
Yeah,
I don't care if it's uphill. I'm still on the fucking bike.
Yeah, that's fair. You like your bikes. Yeah, nah, definitely not swimming. Fuck that.
I'm not going to enjoy pedaling up a mountain, but I'm
not going to drown from it.
Unenjoy it. Yeah, I won't die. Like,
yeah, just get off.
Yeah.
Just fall sideways.
Well, that's it. I made it this far.
I'm gonna take a nap.
Yeah,
right here.
That meme where they put the stick in the bike.
Yeah, that's me. The risk to reward is one, I can just take a nap and hop off. One, I die. So
yeah,
I'm gonna take the L where I just hop off.
That's fair.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, you get rhabdo on the bike. The other one, you die. So
yeah, I mean that's fair. Question: Psalms. It just says Psalms.
Do them, all of them.
Psalms.
In your eyeball. MK677.
Literally, that's the question. So don't do them. Don't listen to Ben because Ben's stupid. You get all the side effects and none of the positives.
Yeah. And the ones you get from those companies that say they got this one in Australia that fucking does this and is just as good as testosterone. No.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, there's only one good like steroidal psalm, and it's Tren. Hey, people still don't realize it's actually it's a psalm, but just whatever. At a low dose, it's a psalm. So if you want to do a good psalm, do Tren. Don't do Tren. People will actually probably be like, hey, you said do Tren. Don't do actual Tren. No, psalms a waste of time, waste of money, not worth the hassle. I
literally met someone who like I think was it LGD 66 LGD something, and it came back failed. It failed carcinogen studies and rat studies, but it got like it was getting bottled news because like the growth.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Cardarine.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And Cardarine failed its cancer, the cancer testing and that sort of stuff. Carcinogenic testing.
Yes, carcinogen testing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Its growth rate was like through the roof, but it came with the fact it was growing tumors and you would die. Two people that were taking it. And I was like, I don't think you understand what it means when it says this. Like most drug dealers don't tell you the drug doesn't work.
So the thing that Cardarine does, so does telmazepam. That's kind of its most beneficial thing. So telmazepam not only helps with like heart health, kidney health, it's also got a really nice side effect as a fat burner, which is what Cardarine is used for. It's the exact same mechanism of action, and it's been approved for human use, and it's cheaper.
So you use the drug one that isn't approved?
No, like why? Like,
Underground.
You can use the one that
feel naughty.
Yeah.
Naughty.
Like,
who's the bad boy?
I am. Yeah, I can't help you on that one. But who wants a mustache ride?
Who wants a mustache ride? I do.
So, thoughts on Androxul and is it considered a PED? I mean, Androxul's enclomiphene from memory. So it's like estrogen. It's a non-steroidal, what is it? Non-steroidal estrogen receptor. So it's a SERM. It's shit house. I wouldn't bother worrying about it. Doesn't do anything. I don't know if it's considered a PED, but I mean, imagine being a SERM that it would be. I don't know. SERM's considered. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if SERMs are actually considered. Are SERMs considered to be PEDs? I don't think so. I don't think they're banned. Or maybe they are. I can't remember. I can't remember.
I haven't actually seen.
It was designed for like overweight men. They had estrogen problems or something. I can't remember. So like block estrogen. I don't know. I can't remember. I didn't really read much into it because I read like 3 things on it. I'm like, oh, it sounds like shit. So I'm not going to waste my time. Why are they called apartments when they are so close together?
Why are they called buildings when they're still being built?
Yeah, that's
when they're
true.
finished being built.
Yeah, like
why can my fingers finger, but my toes can't fucking have it, Joe? That one?
Yeah, I don't know, but I get where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's my I can tiptoe, but I can't.
Yeah.
Fingertip?
Fingertips. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna. Yeah, good question. Not really. Fucking idiot.
That's definitely one of my clients.
100%. That's Jay. That's
sure
Jay.
it is.
Most underrated YouTube and/or Instagram for gym fitness related content.
This Matter Athletica page just started one.
Yeah, CC Fit Learning is pretty good.
I mean, they are definitely underrated. That's for sure. YouTube
definitely overrated.
What about YouTube?
Hey, actually, have you guys watched the RBP in person one from the Aries?
No, Aries. No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it just started today. It's actually pretty good. The first
That's the live one they did.
Yeah, the live one, the first live one they ever done.
When
they're all saying it's too deep and not funny enough.
Yeah. It's interesting, but yeah, I don't know. When they don't try and talk science, they're pretty like it's underrated in what they provide from their perspective of being elite athletes. Like, just stop trying to talk science and shit and just train hard and tell us about it, but don't tell us why you think you're doing it. Yeah. But actual science and underrated pages, I find RP is pretty good. Like, it's a pretty good like free source to just go listen to Mike Israel talk. I find that's pretty good. Mostly bro, like 12 days out, come check what I eat in a day. Like, fuck that off. No one gives a shit. It's the same fucking spinach, rice, and fish. Like, what are you doing at that far out? You probably got no food. No one cares. You're doing a training session.
Yeah,
I think being grumpy over 30 is like, I've seen all those videos already.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, I used to watch Jay Cutler do this.
Yeah,
100%.
You're not inventing the wheel here. And Jay's was cool to watch.
I don't know.
Jay liked his food boring, so he's watching this big ass dude like just eat literally plain rice cakes and a whole bowl of just oats. No overnight oat fucking super cheesecake berry delight, just oats and cinnamon, and he's eating like a whole fucking slop of it. And you're like, bruh, that looks shit. And he's like, I fucking love it. I'm like, that's my guy. I like this.
Yeah, it really depends on, I guess, what you're looking for from YouTube, right? Like, like what sort of education are you looking for? So it's kind of like Revive Stronger on YouTube isn't too bad. Get some really good guests. Like, some of the podcasts obviously on YouTube are really good. They get some really good guests. Mm-hmm. Anything from a lot of the guys like Joe Jeffrey, Austin Stout, these guys, like I look up to them highly. Like, they're very, very intelligent people. So anything that they've jumped on, worth listening to. Same thing with
the ones I like are underrated.
Well, yeah, right. And that's kind of the thing. It's like,
to us because we know about them. Is it like it's like, I guess, are they Gen Pop underrated? Like, if you're a newbie to train?
Yeah, and it's like, what is it that you like, right? So it's like trying to break down things and make it digestible, which is interesting. So I haven't really come across anyone that takes really complex stuff and makes it really easy for like a Gen Pop setting, because I feel like it's not needed on YouTube. If that makes sense. I think people that would be watching it would want, I guess, more in depth. They wouldn't want complex, simple. Otherwise, you just tell them simple shit.
Yeah, anyway. I think Steffi does it pretty well. Yeah. Obviously, the RX ones are obviously pretty good. The potties that are recorded on there, they would be the only two I would go.
Bros with Brains is pretty good. Should check that out.
Elite Strength podcast, it's pretty good. Interviewed some pretty good guys. It's fine.
Pretty good.
Anyway, there was another question that I did see. How to get a body like Baki? Who's Baki? Baki.
Have their parents.
Yeah. I got nothing.
I don't know who it is, but
that's the Baki's the fucking anime guy.
All right. Which one? Not the bald one, is he? No.
Watch Baki the Brawler. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an anime guy. Yeah, and he's jacked as fuck. So this is the shit that blows my mind when we talk about beauty expectations and standards in media. When you see shit like, but we had Barbie as the girl, so the women are expected to, be this thin shape. Bitch, we had fucking Baki, and we had Street Fighter, and we had Dragon Ball Z. We had.
Have you seen Goku?
Yeah. Literally, Goku gets bigger in the
episode. You can go old school and go like G.I. Joe.
Yeah, literally Action Man, G.I. Joe. Like, the toys came out chiseled, and we're like, cool. We've seen this since we were 3. And by the way, oh, but we have to have like a thin taper and like be in fucking these slim dresses. Literally, they fight supervillains, and the supervillains are jacked, and they're also jacked, and they're all running. Literally, fucking Chris Evans plays Captain America, who's on steroids. The literal drug he's talking about is steroids. The super soldier serum is just steroids.
Yeah, I mean, you go from skinny to jacked in like 30 seconds. It's not how steroids work, but I like the premise. Could you imagine?
Concepts there.
Could you imagine like how good would that be?
Time frame.
How cool would that be? Just like, all right, I'm willing to bear that
sell
pain.
a kidney for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you still couldn't afford it, but that's fine.
Nope.
When are you going to come out with some merch? No idea.
As in the channel? Or
yeah, well, I imagine. Well, who else?
Bros
with Brains. Yeah, like, are we doing merch? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, what would we put on it? Do as we say, not as we do.
It's actually not a bad motto.
I think that's it. That's the catchphrase. Hashtag do as we say, not as we do.
Don't do trend.
Then a wink face.
Yeah. don't do trend, but do trend. Yeah.
Actually, I like the one that we came up with ages ago, where it was like Mario, Super Mario Bros. Is just our faces edited over Luigi and Mario. I thought that'd be pretty funny.
That would be funny. Yeah, we did talk about that. That would be funny.
That would be hilarious. But like the real, like, you know, they tried to do the real life version. That one.
Yeah, the live action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that and just copy our faces on the body. I reckon that'd be hilarious.
Hopefully they try to remake it.
Someone listening to this will do that, and they'll link it to Fiverr, and we'll get a concept sent to us.
And then just put on Fitprint and job done.
Yeah. Hint.
That would be epic. Someone do it. We will buy and wear.
Got too many things going on.
I'm still waiting for my Happy Gilmore shirt.
Yeah, was that supposed to come sometime soon?
I don't know. One of the listeners keeps saying, if I buy you a Happy Gilmore, do it. Yeah, do it. I'll wear it. I will wear it on a course. I will play with Ben, and I will wear a Happy Gilmore polo, no stress. Let's do this. Someone send it.
Please do. Anyway, because Happy Gilmore, fucking hilarious.
Well, that is it for questions, boys.
Brilliant.
Much do we need to know coming out?
I guess. Oh, do we do a big announcement for next week and get everyone hyped, or do we leave it as a surprise?
We can announce it. I'm just not. I'm looking at the group chat. I am not having much confidence.
Everyone
in these guys.
thought it was this week.
No. It was just two of you. Well, look of it, or three of you. Two of you, three of you. Standard, the three: Jace, Ben, and Chris. Like, really? Like,
yeah.
I'm not shocked.
So next week is episode 50, which marks, give or take, some weeks off that we had and some extra recordings. I believe next week will be a year in production, because give or take, we did the release on the week before, and then there was a week we had off. I think it's about a year in production, but let's say, I don't know, 50 episodes, a bit of a milestone. Not many podcasts make 50 and actually continue. So what we are doing is having everyone on that has assisted or been a part of or joined the podcasts as a free running guest episode. So we're just going to drop the link. As we said, we'd do a couple. When we say that was like a month ago, let's just drop the link to people and see what happens.
Yeah, we're just going to send it to people and see what happens. We're just going to
drop the link, and we'll probably stay on chat and shit for like 2 hours, do a big episode out of it, and make some fun out of it, and see who turns up. We got
no one turns up. Tumbleweed.
It's just me and you again.
Insert tumbleweed.
Yeah. So it's really only half an hour. No. So yeah, that's going to be a pretty exciting episode. It should be about, I don't know, 2 hours in length or something like that. Try and make it a bit of excitement and chat shit. We'll try and get some bigger questions in the lead up to it, and get some question boxes filled up, and have 8 of us chat shit.
Yeah, should be fun.
Congratulations, boys.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't have thought.
Says you. Don't you have like 3,455 episodes of your one?
Yeah.
I wish.
Of all episodes in total, over 20 different podcasts.
Yeah.
You got a few.
I don't know how many we have.
Yeah, so you got a few.
I think you got the 150 mark, haven't you?
If you can't fit, because there's like another 50 on there.
Yeah, the old ones with the raw podcasts.
No. So we had the 2 channels.
Yeah.
We've actually this week only closed Fit.
Yeah, right.
So we're going to run learning only. So we have 164.
There you go.
Shit.
You're a veteran.
Yeah.
The podcast game. OG.
Yeah.
May as well call you guys STC Rogan.
I don't get enough YouTube
the STC experience.
Ad money yet to retire, which pisses me off.
It's just like, I just want to play golf.
Coach a few people, play some golf.
You guys are so big. Have you made any trans comments yet to get cancelled and threatened by Spotify?
No. That's
rookies, amateur level.
Yeah,
it's next week's episode.
It's next week's episode. Yeah,
we stay pretty neutral to be honest.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't been in more trouble, to be honest. But
we had
that's it.
We had a politics question today, and Jason and I just looked at each other. We were like,
nope, not answering that.
Do we want to do this?
Yeah, pussies.
Yeah.
Pussies.
Just like send it. Fuck it.
Send it. We listen for a reason.
Yep.
Piss some people off. It's okay.
Yeah. So
That's
that's a big one. So when you see the question box next week, folks, we want plenty of questions for everyone that's been on. So we're getting Jace, Benny, Nick, Dalton, us two. Chrissy might make a reappearance if he pulls his finger out. We shall see. But overall, we've got everyone coming back. So yeah, drop some questions that we can all rip into. Make it about drugs. That's always fun. Jace was so hesitant about like how far we talk about drugs. And he's like, wait, do you guys like answer the questions? I'm like, bro, do you want to know what my stack is?
Yeah.
He's like, ooh, how far do we go?
Do you know me? Like I talk about drugs openly. I talk about it openly on my Instagram. I'm kind of like, bro, it's kind of my thing. Like just I'm happy to answer questions that I know, obviously. Well, anything else that we need to know coming out from either of you boys? Programs, courses, mentorships, menteeships.
Literally just uploaded our first video to YouTube, so that's pretty sick. A little bit of a thing there. So see how that goes. It's going to be what are they going to be? Some background on me, kind of who I am, where I've come from, where my head's come from. It's not a good place. A bit of educational stuff in there as well. So we're going to dive a lot more into concepts that Instagram doesn't let us get into, and some things like prep and client and business updates. I really like the way you guys at STC did that for a while there, and I want to see how that sort of resonates with people and kind of give them like a full transparent, like, this is how you build a business. This is what's happening. This is like week by week. You can follow literally along. There's nothing to hide here. So test that out. We've locked in a few pretty cool guests already. So I've got PhDs in sports psychology. I've got PhDs in astrophysics and philosophy. I've got former SAS. I've got a few cool things already lined up with people. Just out there stuff like, I'm going to have all of you guys on there to just talk our shop and our field. And then there's a few like just left wing, like left field. Sorry, not going left wing. Fuck. Left field. Go left field. Bring them on, like chat their shop and like, dive into some of those more philosophical questions that, my Instagram doesn't really get to do all the time, but I love to talk about. So yeah, that's going to be our next big endeavor.
Beautiful. I like it.
I like that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to put a shameless plug in for our upcoming episode of the podcast because I had to eat some fucking hot chicken or hot sauce on some chicken. So please go watch it on YouTube. So I feel validated that it was actually worth doing. That'll come out Monday. Just search STC Fit Learning on IG and you'll find all of the stuff.
Weird. Sounds good. I've got nothing going on. I'm just playing golf. So that's fine. Standard. Trying to get my handicap down. Mate, I'm telling you, you don't understand. I couldn't miss on Sunday.
Physical handicap or golf?
Oh, both. I was like playing like other Ben. You would have appreciated it. I've just found something in my irons, and I don't know, but I can't fucking miss. We don't talk about the driver anymore. That's gone. We just forget about it.
Fuck the driver.
Fuck the driver. Play everything on an iron. Play off a 3 iron. It's fine. We're good. It's great. Anyway, that's it from us, team. As always,
thanks, boys.
If you have questions, topics, put them in the question box when we put them up on Wednesday morning. Or
especially for this week coming, big one. So get some questions,
message
cool shit in there.
Ben or the matter. Just message matter. Fuck it. Make it easier.
Yeah. Because
if I say Ben, everyone's going to get confused on which Ben.
Yeah, don't message me.
Send dick pics to that Ben.
Yeah, I mean, message either Ben, actually. That works. That is it from us. Goodbye.
Peace. See you.